Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Check out the podcast below in the description.
And also check out our sponsor, Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Yep. #1 vodka in America. Tito's.
Crafted to be savored responsibly. In a stacked receiver draft, he was the #1 receiver taken, is Henry Ruggs. Now, I don't blame Gruden for not playing him because Ruggs has not, he battled some injury issues last year. So the last thing I'd want is to get him this close, especially if I'm playing, the Sammy Baugh of NFL's preseason, Nathan Peterman at quarterback. But, it does make you, like, I look up some places Brady's playing, right? You're like, God, this guy does have something to prove.
Tyreek Hill scored a touchdown.
Oh, my God. Tyreek Holmes, no one ever got within. Did you see the replay of that? Yeah, he's so Crocky, I think I posted. Like, don't blame this guy for not being able to put hands on Tyreek. Just whoosh. Untouchable.
Listen, I had a long conversation with a friend in the league, and we talked about Henry Ruggs. And he thought that a lot of people, like he knew in their building, they just questioned his ability to run routes. And that is an area that anyone that watched Henry Ruggs last year, he's not a great route runner. Even the irony is like his teammate, Jerry Jeudy, coming out in that draft, who I think was wildly considered on like universal boards to be ahead of him, right, was known as a great route runner. And Ruggs is a good work in progress, which most guys aren't. I had no problem with even taking a swing for the fences, even though looking back, I'm not trying to crush the pick because I'm a Henry Ruggs fan. And I don't get as caught up and like can't run the routes. Like you got to coach him up on that. I do think he has physical capabilities too, and his speed is elite, and he was an elite playmaker. But I just do wonder, because we were in the conversation of, look at the two guys that I would say that Derek had the most success with in his football life. Even if you go back to Bakersfield Christian, he had a teammate that I remember walked on at Fresno State who was like a 6'3" wide receiver. I think his first name was Jordan. I remember running into him once at San Francisco. He was a trainer at Crunch. But he was a big wide receiver. And then at Fresno, obviously, Derek had his most success with a star, Devontae. But Devontae in college was a throw-it-up-and-go-get-it guy. Think about in the pros. This guy resurrected his career and became like kind of a star again, was Crabtree.
Yeah.
Of just back shoulder throw. Like that, Derek is most comfortable with that. Like looking back.
Waller.
Again, I'm not a
Again,
Henry
Waller
Ruggs
would be
hater.
good with a lot of guys, but
If you could do that over, I think CeeDee Lamb makes a lot more sense for Derek than
CD.
But don't you think
better.
for Derek's specific skill set and what he's had success with before, like it's kind of a plug and play Crabtree, Devontae type player. Like I think if they could redo that, like you can get Hamler, who the Broncos have, you can get those speed demons, tutus, and those guys in second and third round. What round? Seattle's Eskridge, who I think played last night, third round pick. Like you get there is value in that position, and this is where we get back to the value stuff. That you just, I think you're, but back overall, like what has Waller, Jacobs, Derek, Colton Miller, Yannick Ngakoue, like I get it. I would do that. Henry Ruggs, Bryan Edwards, I can't get some fucking preseason reps.
I mean, they made Damon Arnett. Damon Arnett made the trip. Has he been that much worse than?
Yeah, but he's technically a backup, right?
Well, I understand. I'm just saying, like he's got to go earn it.
Yeah, I mean,
now, Bryan Edwards, again, Brian, I understand. I do get it. Edwards was hurt most of last year. And Ruggs, the last thing is to get him this close to the season. A season he's got to play, you think? 15 games, right?
How do you get better, though, without playing?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to. Luckily, there's 18 weeks of the season. If he's healthy, he's going to get plenty of opportunity to play.
Yeah, I mean, the standards are high for him just because we know the other guys are going to be ass kickers, right? Like Jefferson's, the CDs, the Ayuks. Like he needs to be good. He needs to be good.
Is a stud. Now,
you agree though that CD the parallels with the two guys that even in Amari a little bit, but
wouldn't you argue that type of guy is better with every quarterback is better when the target's easier to hit?
Well, but like Ruggs, I would understand like Mahomes, great deep ball thrower, or Russell Wilson. I would say historically, Derek's deep ball is kind of a little hit or miss. It's not really. He's not
worked
he's
against
not
the Jets,
accurate,
John.
He's
Where
not
were
the
you
most
on that
accurate
post game
deep ball thrower, even though he has a big arm.
But you think a guy like him, like part of the reasons Hill works is because he's got Kelsey out there with him too, right? Like,
but Hill is a great receiver. Like he can run routes, right?
I agree. I'm just saying you got Waller, you got Renfro. In theory, you got Bryan Edwards, who I've liked the limited opportunity we've seen him. Like it should be okay if you're not a good enough route runner to be a number one receiver, but you have his speed. Like we should be able to work with you. They never threw him the ball last year when he was on the field. Now maybe he's running bad routes; they can't get him the ball. But I know I agree with your CeeDee Lamb point. This video brought to you in part by our friends DraftKings. Use the promo code HAM. Download the app. Get in our league linked below.
Yep. Also, our friends at mybookie.ag. Promo code HAM and the number 1. College football is rocking and rolling. The NFL's right around the corner. Get your gamble on. Mybookie.ag. Promo code HAM1. What would be your number on catches to have a successful season for
65?
old Ruggs?
60, which isn't. Now, what do you have last year? 40, 30, 30?
He was the 12th pick in the draft. Second year, 60 catches.
Yeah, it's low. But 65, I mean, just let's go. Score 6 touchdowns. 7's high. I'm not John, I don't think he's going to be CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy. But if you told me he had 65 catches, it means he probably played the whole year, was just a threat, caught a couple big touchdowns, made some big plays. Like, would you not take that right now? Because I don't think you're getting better than that right now. Not with Waller.
I mean, if I'm a Raider fan, I'm shooting for 75 to 80 and close to 9 or 10. I mean, he was a 12th pick in the draft.
I am out on this thing where he can be the best receiver of that group. I don't think it's going to happen. At least not this year.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the guy.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you would
they act like he's fucking Jerry Rice already.
That's why you would take 65 catches right now, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's be a huge upgrade from last year, but 65, just when you draft a guy that high, and given what the other guys kind of in that group are more than likely going to do, 65 when a bunch of other people are at 80s and 90s is going to look shitty.
Well, it is. It is. I'm just saying, like, a success for them, right? He had 26 catches last year. So if he more than doubles his output.
Wasn't he? I mean, I think we did this before. Wasn't he the lowest of like the top
20?
10 guys? Or
no, I think it was more in the
catch?
top 10. At one point, we did it during the season. And it's like of all the first and second rounders, he was last. I think at that point in time, I remember he had.
We know Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb did. Even did
Jefferson,
Jalen, did Jalen Reagor have more catches than him?
I believe he did.
Yeah, Jalen had 31 catches and was a disaster. So 20s that's bad.
Dave Dave says 1 year and guys are out on Ruggs. Shake my head. Like this is why I said I don't think he's going to be the best receiver in this draft anymore. He went first, but if he has 65 catches, I would feel better about the possibility that he becomes a really good receiver in the NFL. I don't think 65 is a failure. What you're saying, maybe we're saying different things. 65 is a failure based on where you got drafted, but to me, 65 for this year, based on what his rookie year looked like, I think you would take that right now instead of rolling the dice and hoping he gets 90 this year.
Be a step in the right direction. My only thing would be if this team wants to even compete to make the playoffs, their offense is going to have to be dominant because their defense, I'm just sorry, like they just don't have the talent to be that good. They just simply don't. So their offense is going to have to be like top 6 or 7, and they would need him. Just if you just factor in Jacobs and Waller are ballers, but they lose Aguilar last year, who was very productive for them. Like they're just going to need Ruggs and Edwards to be really good. Like ultimately, Hunter Renfrow can only do so much. He can get you a lot of first downs and maybe a couple touchdowns in the red zone, but those other two guys have to be playmakers. And really, Ruggs, just because of his elite skill, has to be special. So I could live with 65 if the touchdown number is closer to 10 than 5.
How many catches did we say? 26?
Yeah.
Okay, so T. Higgins had more.
Jefferson definitely did.
Yeah, I've skipped past those guys. Pittman had more. Laviska.
And if I remember correctly, didn't Pittman miss 8 games?
Who's in charge of updating Laviska Shenault's wiki? They didn't want to put his stats on there?
Is he a second-year player?
He was in that draft. Yeah.
You're right. He actually looked pretty good running around out there with Trevor this morning when I saw. I just like his body type.
He had 58 catches, so he had more. KJ Hamler. Again, who's in charge of his wiki? See, this you told me to go to Wiki instead of Football Reference, and now I'm stuck on Wiki with all these links.
Well, that's why you just type in their names, and then it comes up on their Google. KJ Hamler. Or not him. He's not famous enough. Yeah, it's too challenging to do on the fly.
Why is this so hard?
KJ Hamler at 30, so he had more.
Okay, so Hamler had more. Chase Claypool, I mean, without looking, he had more.
Yeah, he had more.
Van Jefferson.
That feels like it'd be pretty close. How many did Claypool have?
Van Jefferson at
62.
19. So we got Van Jefferson, and he got Denzel. Did he get Denzel Mims? Probably.
I don't know. Denzel Mims. That one's going to be close.
23, he got Denzel Mims.
He got Denzel Mims.
Okay. So Ramon says if he has 70 catches and averages 50 yards per catch, that's a 1,000-yard season. Waller's going to go for 1K. Not sure they support that many guys over 1K. Yeah.
Like the yardages. We're not looking for yardages here. It's about catches.
This is what I'm telling you. 60. If he has 65, I bet it looks okay to you. Like when you watch the Raiders, you go, okay, that's he feels like he's an impactful player at 65 catches. Even though it doesn't feel. I agree with your point. Like that's not what you should get after the 12th overall pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see it with my own eyes.